Hi everyone, this is Jane here from Crystal Sparkles Readings. I'm just going to pop down our card for the day for us. I'm going to be using this black and white Faulkner deck as usual. So I'm just going to have a little shuffle of that. So just have a look and see what we've got. So, our card for the day with the Faulkner deck is the the wonderful Chariot. So the Chariot is it's a card of kind of movement, really. Anything that's kind of been stuck is going to be moving forward. You're going to be making progress. It's a card that asks you really to kind of take control of your destiny and to make the things that you want to make happen. So you can see there's two different lanes of traffic here, and we've got this side here or this side here. So depending on which side or which part of this card I'm drawn to, will depend on the energy of the card. As with all the cards, they have lots of different meanings and lots of different kind of slants on what's going on with the card. Really drawn to the left hand side of the card today, which is really an empty road. It's like a clear road. Whatever you want to do, get yourself in your car and drive it in the direction you want to go. It's basically what it says when it's like that. I'm also really drawn to the left hand side of the card where we've got the electricity pylons. If you can see in here in the left hand corner, there's an electricity pylon. When I'm drawn to that talks to me about communication. So we're talking about communication coming in, making progress. If you've been waiting for someone to call you or to get in contact with you, it suggests that's going to happen. If you've been waiting or holding off contacting somebody, this card's kind of saying get on with it. Just do it, call them up, do the thing. The Chariot can be talking about conflict, we're talking about things butting up against each other. It's not that energy that I'm picking up from it today. It's more about progress. It's more about let's go for it. Let's stop hanging around and let's just get on with what we need to get on with and get it done. So in terms of the card for the day, really positive, because it's all about positive movement forward. It's about you being in charge of your destiny. You know, you would not get in your car and you do the pedals while somebody else does the steering wheel. That would never happen. So not unless you were, you know, a little bit crazy. So it's asking you not to do that with your life either. Don't anybody else drive your car. Don't anybody else tell you where you need to be going. Don't let anybody else push you around. You know, you decide where you're going to go and you go. It's about control. It's about, I suppose, control, about power, but about believing in yourself more than you would believe in others. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to kind of pay attention where you get some good advice from someone. Absolutely. But even then, even if it is good advice and it's not what you want to do, you have to follow your own path. You know, sometimes there can be two paths that are equally good, and just because somebody's going, oh well, you really should do this and do that, that could be great advice, but they're giving it to you from their point of view. That's not always your point of view. So it's asking you to be in control of yourself, in control of your destiny. You are master of your destiny, not anybody else. So just go for what you want to go for, really. Remember who's in charge of your car, I would say. So it's quite a good self-confidence, believing in yourself kind of day. And it's progressive as well, you know, things happen when you've got the Chariot. You're on the move, you're moving forward. So I'm just going to have a little shuffle of these Mystic Shaman cards and put one of these down. I'm sorry if there's a bit of background noise on the video today. It's because of the air conditioning on and it is far too hot to just turn it off. Even for the 10 minutes it takes me to do this, I wouldn't want to turn it off because it is roasting here. So, you know, we're keeping hydrated. That's all you can do. this weather, keeping as cool as possible and keeping hydrated. So let's just have a little look and see what we've got going on today with this Mystic Shaman. Okay, let's just see. Let's just see what we've got going on over here. This is an unusual visit. We've got Chinook today. Chinook doesn't often pop in to see us when we're doing our cards. It's because I've done it a little bit earlier today, so he's still awake and with us. Normally, when I'm doing them in the afternoon, he's sound asleep on the sofa, so I don't disturb him. Chinook, hello, baby. Hi, baby. Hello. Yeah, so he's popped in to see us today. So, in the Mystic Shaman, sorry, we had a little cat break. We've got the Andean Cross. So the Andean Cross talks about like your choice of direction, and the centre of the cross, as you can see, there's a circle, there's a gap. This is kind of like the pathway to spirit, from what I can remember. Very first thing I'm drawn to is the gold colour of the card. The gold colour is kind of very much about creativity. Obviously it's gold, so you know we're talking about being prosperous, all of that kind of thing, but it's kind of linked into the sort of orangey gold, the sacral chakra, all of that stuff. It's about creativity. So I'm just going to have a little look at what it says about the Andean Cross in the book, because you know she does tell us to keep using the book, so I'm going to keep using the book. So it says the essence of this card, it represents the cosmology of the shaman, so it depicts the four cardinal directions, the upper and lower world, and the steps to reach these realms. The hole in the centre is a gateway to interdimensional travel. It's a bit like having like a mirror showing up in a tarot card. It's a bit like they can be a portal. So we can all go on to experience higher levels of awareness and wisdom and break free of linear time. So a lot of people get really hung up on this idea of time. How long is it going to take? When will it be? When's my ex going to call me? When should I do this? When will this happen? When will that happen? When we get really caught up on those timings, we block ourselves, because what we do is we take ourselves away from this moment. If we're forever projecting ahead to I'm going to be happy when this happens, and that's like could be months in advance, who knows. We're not in this moment. That's when we create stuff, is when we're in this moment, not when we're focusing too much on what's either happened to us in the past or what might happen to us in the future. People get really bogged down with timings, and you know, I do a lot of readings, and a lot of questions are, when's it going to happen? And I always have to try and explain that when is not something that we can answer. You know, I'm using spirit guides. They don't really get all of that time stuff with us. They just think it's us getting hung up on things that don't really matter. You know, the tarot can give us guidelines. It can give us ideas of how long something might take. But you can change that. You know, you could change. If I said to you something's going to happen in 2 weeks' time, you could then decide for the next 2 weeks you're not going to leave your flat. You're not going to do anything. Just going to do nothing. You're going to send out no energy, just going to go completely flat. The likelihood of anything happening for you is so minimal when that happens, because you're not attracting anything. You're not out there taking part in anything. You know, people ask, when will I meet somebody? Well, you have to be part of that process. You have to be a co-creator. It's not just the universe doing everything for you. So timings matter so much. You know, it makes so much difference to timings what you put in. You know, if you block and block and block, things won't happen, and that's just the way it is. So, you know, don't get too hung up on the whole time is linear stuff, and, you know, this is happening then. You know, there are schools of thought that say that there are, you know, lots of different worlds, all the same as ours, with us all in them, where just different things are happening, different realities. And, you know, I don't know whether that's true or not. Who am I to say? I'm sure at some point we will find out.